Same
a
thing.
different name
Same thing, different
with
day.
12 new songs in it.
Wow.
The songs were mediocre in most cases. You can't.
Beautiful YouTube family, welcome back to the L portion of T.E.L.L Joanne. I am your girl Joanne. Guys, I hope you are enjoying the 2 weeks of Elvis, and today's video, it is sponsored by our member Matt. Hello Matt. Guys, Matt has requested for us to listen to Elvis Presley talking about his movie career. Okay, guys, you know I want to get into it right after we do our cheer. So if you are part of the family, aka you already subscribed, then you knew I was about to say that. But if you're new to the channel, this is when I say hello. Now put me on pause with yourself a beverage of choice. Hit that subscribe button so that you can become part of this amazing community. And on a count of 3, we'll do our cheer. You guys ready? 1, 2, 3. This is fitting that this is my last video for tonight to hear about Elvis and his movie career. I'm very curious to hear from his own mouth what he feels about it. All right, without further talking, let's go.
I didn't associate myself as being that. I was busy with a script. I had to memorize a script. It changed a lot of those things.
It was a lot of work.
Yeah, it was work. It was a job, you know. I had to be there at a certain time in the morning and work a certain amount of hours, and that's exactly how I treated it. So I was more concerned about if the picture's any good or if I was any good, and it, you know.
There were a lot of action movies. There were always, when you were driving a car, you were...
Yeah.
You know, a lot of people, there's like 32 movies that have gone through it.
Oh my goodness,
I've heard say.
I didn't realize. Did you guys know 32 movies? I don't know how early in his or how late in his movie career that they did this, but it sounds like then at that time of this interview, he had 32 movies. Guys, comment below and let me know if you know the total of movies that Elvis had in his career. Go back just a little bit.
Right. I've heard say, oh, he doesn't give a shit, you know, about his movies. He makes all those movies and they just kind of grind them out. We know different. That's one of the things we want to accomplish in this film.
Mm-hmm.
He really cares about when he goes on stage. He really cares about the movies, good or bad. The point is that you care about those films. You care if they're not good.
Yeah, I cared so much until I became physically ill. I would become violently ill. I'd get a temperature or something would happen to me.
Wow.
What would concern you at the time?
Guys, you know, in this other videos that I talked about Elvis, and I was saying that because we've been doing this 2 weeks of Elvis, and I don't know what video is going to come out or whatever, but I just talked about how no matter what, Elvis was a perfectionist. You know what I mean? Like whatever happened in his life and everything else, when he got on stage, he was Elvis, the Elvis that everybody wanted, everybody expected. Matter of fact, he was above and beyond that. And you know, when you have a person in your life who is a perfectionist, and it really is that anything that they do, you know, whether it seems good or bad to you, whether it seems good or bad in your eyes, to them, they have tried, you know, their best, and they try to put their whole into it. And to hear that he says that, you know, that he would get sick, physically sick over it when he does not, you know, when he's not successful or something, that tells you a whole lot. And comment below if you guys knew this or if this is something that is new to you. All right, let me just go back and I'm going to try to hear it, and then after that talk afterwards.
What would concern you at the time about the film? What would make you ill?
The fact that I didn't, at a certain stage, I had no say-so in it. I didn't have final approval of the script, which means that I couldn't say this is not good for me.
Wow. Imagine.
In other words, they just used you. They did anything they wanted to do.
It was that type, it was more or less that type of thing. I don't think anybody was consciously trying to harm me. It was just Hollywood's image of me was wrong, and I knew it, and I couldn't say anything about it. I couldn't do it.
And it's interesting, and I just said I was going to pause it to hear how this interviewer tried to put words in his mouth and that he just switched it off, right? I wouldn't say something like that. It's just that the image of him, he couldn't change it. And that's what it is sometimes when you do decide to do a movie, and it's just like you cannot control the script. And guys, a little off topic. I don't know why I'm hearing this. And Michael Jackson just comes to my mind. I feel like Elvis and Michael Jackson have so much some similarities. I really, really do feel like that in regards to their artistry and in regards to how they take it and how important it is to them. You know what I mean? And I don't know why. Like I said, Michael Jackson just came to my mind when I hear this. But it is something that to get into something and to know that it doesn't necessarily represent you and that you cannot make changes, and yet people are going to see this and they're going to say, oh my god, was bad in movies, or Elvis is this and that, and knowing that that is something that he really wanted to be good at. This is something that he really thought was important, as well as traveling, and yet that is what he was portrayed into certain things because of the roles that he had. Just quite interesting, quite interesting.
Anything about it. I'd be right into production. I was doing a lot of pictures close together, and the pictures got very similar. A lot of them got very similar.
Interesting.
And they, if something was successful, I'd try to recreate it the next time around.
Right.
So I'd read the first 4 or 5 pages, and I knew that it was just a different name.
Same thing, different day.
With 12 new songs, and the songs were mediocre in most cases. You can't get good songs.
Wow.
So that's what might have made it seem like the indifference, But I was never indifferent. I was so concerned until that's all I talked about. It worried me sick.
Wow.
So I had to change it, which I did. I had to change it around.
Yeah, on the tour,
I was obligated like 4 years in advance.
You're not going to remember things like the great dance sequence in Jailhouse Rock. Now, Jerry told me you choreographed it, your thing yourself. That's a beautiful sequence.
Yeah.
How did that come about? I mean, how did you get that kind of control?
I just did it, and we had a choreographer that just more or less geared the dances off what I did. But
Sure,
I don't know. It's nobody's fault, maybe except my own. I didn't know what to do. I just felt I was obligated very heavily to, a lot of times, to things that I didn't fully believe in.
Wow, okay.
And that was very difficult.
that's the feeling I got.
Well, the difference was this, I think. Turkey probably quick. No.
No, you agree, sir.
Was Elvis's contracts were made up before the scripts. In other words, when people do pictures, they do it by a script. They say, yeah, I'll do this script. Then they do the picture. But Elvis was contracted to do pictures, so he had to do a picture no matter what they told him to do.
Yeah, you got 5 pictures to do. Or
You
whatever.
say, you got to do it, you do this script.
That's what I'm saying. The movies were made the contracts were signed like 4 years in
For 11
advance.
pictures, 7 pictures, no matter what picture.
So I had thought
That's the difference.
that they would try to get a new property for me or give me a chance to show some kind of acting ability or do a very interesting story. But it did not change. It did not change. And so I became very discouraged. They couldn't have paid me no amount of money in the world to make me feel any self-satisfaction inside.
But yet you still did them. You must have forced yourself.
I had to.
What kind of film would you have liked to have made if you would have had your choice?
That's hard to say. I would like to have something that was more challenging instead of Hollywood's image of what they thought I was.
So you know what, guys? If you have not seen my reaction to the Elvis movie, definitely be sure to check it out. And I have to thank you guys again so much. I have to thank my YouTube community, my YouTube family, because you guys really have guided me on this journey. And it is so interesting because I think I had learned this part when I was watching the movie, and part in the comments that you guys had made in terms of correcting some of the things that I had said. And and the whole thing with Elvis's movie is just that, people may think and they may say, well, you signed a contract and and you don't want to do the movies, nobody's holding a gun to your head for you not to do it. And one of the things that I have learned is that it almost feels like someone is holding a gun to your head, right? Because what they do, I mean, these people, these Hollywood people, they know how to take advantage. They know how to take advantage. They have these contracts, and it's like you think you can get out, and then all of a sudden they say they're gonna sue you, right? They say they're gonna take away everything that you work so hard for, and then you get to the point where you become so scared and you feel so trapped, or you feel so trapped that you feel like you have no choice but to do what they say that you have to do. And that's why it is so important in terms of who your manager is, who your team is, who the people that you have around you, because they can get you in big trouble, right? Here you are, you're trusting that, you know, people have your best interest, and sometimes you have greedy people around you that are seeing how they can leech off of you. And I felt like that's a lot of what happened to Elvis. And in regards to his movie career, and this is why I do love this his fan base, and this that is guiding me right now, is that you guys are honest. You know, you guys are just like Joanne. You know, Elvis's music is amazing, but his movies are not so great. And the truth is, that is your opinion. I haven't seen enough of his movies for me to say that, you know, whether they're great or not. And I had said in other videos, and again, I don't know when I'm going to release them, that definitely I am going to have a whole catalog of movies, of Elvis's movies, that I will be watching the whole thing, and through membership and things like that, you guys can watch the whole movie with me. And definitely thank Matt for giving me the top, 10 movies list that every fan should see. And then, you know what, the comments that you guys are writing on it. So I am definitely going to watch this movie so I can have my own opinion of how I feel about Elvis's movies, and what I think. But then it is very interesting that I'm going in hearing him himself, right? Like, he's like, that he felt like he didn't have a say, right? And again, like, Hollywood is, I mean, that's Hollywood is Hollywood. Or they're gonna put you, they're gonna pigeonhole you, they're gonna put you where they want to put you. And it is the same thing, like he says, like, something works, so therefore they just want to recycle the same thing. And he really wanted to be a star. I mean, not a star. He really wanted to be a serious actor. You know what I mean? Just like he took his music serious, and he was the one that, that says what goes on and what doesn't go on in his music, then he wanted to be able to have that say throughout his career. So I thank you very much, Matt, for recommending this video for me to hear Elvis himself and what he felt about his film. And and it is right on to what the you guys, this amazing community, have told me. But I'm glad to hear Elvis say it himself. And like I said, I definitely have a list of Elvis movies that are coming out. I know you guys have been waiting for a very long time. It definitely will be available to the members. I'm gonna do like a 48-hour access, even though I'm trying to figure it out. Like, there'll definitely be a whole membership for movies, but I'm going to try to do a 48-hour access so I can have all of my members see it at different times, just to show you guys my appreciation and so forth. And I don't know how I'm going to do it for the YouTube release. If I'm going to do it, I'm still putting everything into works. But in the meantime, guys, definitely write in the comment section. Let me know what movies that you guys recommend for me to see. So this is going to be a very fun New Year's coming up. And again, thank you very much, Matt, for sponsoring this video. And I'm going to see you guys on the next reaction.